So, what? Yeah, so...
Can I talk to you for a second?
Yeah, wait, what was you saying, though?
I don't know. Something about me, probably. Something very disparaging.
What is it, Gary?
I have to tell you that my entire body is shaking right now as I tell you something that I've been dreading telling you all weekend.
Well, this sounds good. You had to go shoot a piece with Judith Regan.
No.
But let me just finish this story. Okay. He's got me curious. But
yeah, really. I'm anxious to know what he was dreading telling you.
I don't think the whole time I've known him his body is shook. But anyway, Judith was my editor on the book, now Robin. So she got this job with Fox, and she's now an editor. She has her own book imprint, and she has...
Regan Books.
Yeah, Regan Books.
That's right.
And she has her own TV program.
Yes.
And she has the right to produce movies or sign movies or something like that.
That's right. It's a multimedia deal.
Meanwhile, she's too busy to do anything right. She's running around. She thinks she's going to be a TV star. It's totally absurd. It is the funniest thing you've ever saw, because she's running around like she's Mike Wallace now.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I get hooked into it.
Yeah. And
she was really, really, really angry at you that you wouldn't be part of the Robin piece. Like,
I'm part of it. I did an interview.
Oh, okay, because she was there that day. She wanted to, like, break the door down.
No, excuse me. I don't want to be chased. One day,
absolutely not.
So one day we're here, and all of a sudden I see Judith Regan and a whole film crew chasing me in the halls. And I went ape.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this? I didn't know what was going on.
Couldn't believe it. Tom came and got me. He said, Robin, they're chasing Howard.
Help him. I mean, it's like a mad woman as Mike Wallace. So, like, she's really into this. So when I went over there, I went to visit Judith about 3 weeks ago. All she does is run around with her new stationery. And I guess
she got the stationery in.
She has the stationery. She's got a book stationery, a film stationery, and a TV show stationery.
Did she show you her new office? Because she's really high on that, too.
Yeah, and she has 2 offices. And it's like, well, but is anyone doing any work? Are you buying any books?
What's so crazy is the only reason she pulls it all off is because she's so damn cute.
No. It's not that. Well, maybe that's part of it, but...
Imagine if somebody like that was chasing you around and she wasn't attractive, you'd have thrown her out of here on her head.
No, but the point is that she got all this through me. It was kind of like...
Right.
Because it was really...
Why did you work so close and hand in hand with her?
I called her up...
She's so cute.
No, because I needed an editor.
Well...
He would have worked...
If you had 5 editors...
What are you talking about? He didn't get to choose. She approached him about writing a book.
You think he would have got as close to her and worked his hand in hand?
No, of course not.
Well,
to have sex with her. So anyway...
Working knees to knees with her.
All right. No, I had to work very closely with her.
She was looking over his shoulder the whole time.
No, I mean, she's really talented as an editor. I don't know about being a TV person.
But really, what do you have to do?
I know. It looked kind of easy when she was doing it.
Yeah.
You don't really have to do that
There's
much.
somebody else running around actually putting the story together. It's not Judith doing it.
Yeah, right.
She just stands there and asks the question.
That they told her to ask.
That's right.
But it's weird because I called her up once. I said, who else is on this TV show with you? She goes, well, I'm the only name. I said, boy, is she delusional.
She mentioned another guy's name.
I'm the only name.
She's the name.
What?
No, she mentioned another guy's name.
But you don't know him. That's what she meant. He's not known like she is.
Yeah, I mean, she thinks she's known. I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there. So Robin went up to Baltimore with Judith.
Or down to Baltimore, whichever way.
Right, down to Baltimore. And did she go down on the plane with you and everything?
No, I went down separately.
Oh, I see. You were there, and then the film crew shows up.
Yeah.
And how does she have time on a weekend to charge around with you in Baltimore?
I have no clue.
Was it for 2 full days?
No, she was only there for that day. But she had to get some antiquing in.
Antiquing.
Wait a second, Robin. I have a question for you because I think I know where this is going.
Antiquing.
Antiquing.
Is this
Give me that Tiffany lamp.
Are you Judith's first piece?
Yes.
That's what's going on.
Yeah, right. That'll change.
She'll spend a lot less time with everyone after you.
Yeah. Anyway, why is your body shaking?
What I'm about to say, it's not funny.
Oh.
I don't think it's funny, but...
Well, why are you laughing?
Because it's weird. Why don't we take a commercial? It's going to go on for a long time.
Was something bad happen to you?
Yeah.
Having to do with the show or personally?
Nothing to do with the baby.
No.
All right.
Oh, okay, now we can calm down.
That would have been
really
fun.
have a good
I
time.
wouldn't make that sort of announcement on the radio. Frank, you want to take us... do we have time? We should break.
Are you going to tell me the announcement in the break?
No.
Well, now you got my curiosity.
I'm already in big trouble, so I might as well go for the air. Okay.
All right.
I'll make the announcement. I'll walk out of the room.
No.
Then I have to set up some phone calls.
Let me take a break.
All right.
We'll come back. I want to hear this announcement.
Okay. I'm going to leave the room.
You're going to leave the room? It's that bad. Am I going to be mad at you?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, great.
And he's got to turn himself in. I love it.
Maybe we should wait till 7.
You know what? It can't be that bad. Because if it was really bad, he would
If
never
it was
say
real
it.
bad, he wouldn't tell us on the air.
You think?
Well, he wouldn't tell you you'd be mad at him.
When we come back...
You know what? Maybe he's too afraid to tell you in person because you're going to be really mad.
When we get back, we'll hear Baba Booey's announcement.
Howard.
Right after... Right?
Robin got it.
Really? You're too afraid to tell me in real life?
That's right.
I think we should guess before he comes.
I almost called you this weekend, and I decided to save it for today. The only way you can save
I'm glad you didn't, because I was being a family man this weekend.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
The only way you can save your ass around this program is to, if you do something really, really bad, if you can at least turn it into good radio, you get
points.
You get a couple of points.
Am I going to hate you for this?
No, because it's not something that can't be fixed, but you're going to be pretty pissed.
Oh.
All right.
Did you have him doing something?
Nothing.
Nope, just...
Tell me what is ailing you. Baba Booey.
He must be nervous. He's already licked those teeth twice.
Are you licking those teeth?
Just throw a bucket of water on me.
Fred, I think you better get the Gary Puppet for this one and start licking its teeth. We got to get to move its tongue.
Yes, we got to get Gary Puppet a tongue.
Yeah. What is your problem?
Okay, I'm really, really nervous, so you got to have a little pity on me. You know, like when a kid comes to his father and he did something wrong?
Sure, it wasn't that
You're
bad.
no kid, you're a grown man.
Fred, don't go anywhere.
Like when a kid...
The Gary Puppet has been abducted.
Oh,
And I know
stop it.
somebody stole the puppet on Saturday. But I have a plate number of the car that took it.
Are you serious?
I'm very serious. I'm not
What did
kidding.
he tell you
I'm
when
not
we let
kidding.
you take the puppet?
Wait a second. Excuse me. I want to say something.
Okay.
I'm not kidding. I think that you guys set me up, but I really believe
Oh, I set you up.
I think that you guys set me up.
First of all, number one, I did not set you up. Number two, what did I tell you about taking the Gary Puppet on an appearance?
Keep an eye on it.
So how did
He comes to me and he says, "Hey, Howard, hey, Wolf, I wanted... Did I tell you I love the Gary Puppet more than I love any person on this planet?
Yes, you did.
That I love the Gary Puppet more than my wife and family?
Yes, you did say that. You did say
Definitely more than you.
that. Definitely more than
Definitely more than... The Gary Puppet is a superstar on E.
Yes.
And people on the radio like the Gary Puppet. Go figure that one out. That's like Charlie McCarthy being
I
a
know,
star
I never
on radio.
understood how that worked, but it's working here
How did you
again.
lose it? How could you do that? How do you lose the
Wait
Gary
a minute.
Puppet?
Let me find out what the situation was. It was Saturday?
Yes.
And how would I set you up?
I don't know.
We don't even know where you were.
Where were you?
You guys know where I was.
I have
was
no
at an
idea
appearance. It's not like you know.
Where were you?
I was at an appearance in Little Falls, New Jersey.
And where is the Gary Puppet now?
Gone.
Someone stole it.
Yes.
You're not
But
kidding.
how
No,
did
I'm
it
not.
get out of your sight? Why weren't you touching the Gary Puppet at all times?
Because the owners of the store wanted me to look at something, and they said they would watch it while I was gone for about 2 seconds.
What?
He's kidding.
I'm not kidding.
The Gary
come on.
Puppet is gone.
Yes, it's gone.
Then you better get on Fred's lap.
Get me a cane. I didn't tell anybody or was in cahoots with anyone.
Why would the owners...
But of course somebody would want to steal it.
No. But why would the owners of the store need to lure Gary away? What
Yeah.
did they need to show you?
What did they show you?
He needed to show me the sound system in his car.
Why?
It was an audio store.
And you just left the Gary Puppet like sitting in a bag?
No, it was sitting behind the counter. It was behind...
All right, let me get this straight.
Yeah, I have an eyewitness on the phone. An eyewitness who also managed to get me the plate number of the car.
Excellent. Hello?
Hi.
Hey,
This is Walt.
did you call the cops?
Not yet.
Well, it's a kidnapping.
Gary Puppet could be in another state by now.
That's what I'm saying. The Gary Puppet could be gone. Hello?
Hi.
That Gary Puppet, first of all, is expensive.
Yeah.
And I don't want a different Gary Puppet. I like that
Well,
one.
the owner of the store is already willing to pay for one to be made.
Oh, he is?
Yes.
Yeah, but how long is it going to take?
Probably take a couple of weeks.
And what are we supposed to do?
Gary, from now on, man, do me a favor. If someone hires you for an appearance,
Right.
go yourself. Don't take the Gary Puppet.
Well,
Don't
he
take
can't.
anything of mine. That's my property I lent you. I entrusted you with my property.
I had a feeling. Why did you tell him he could do it?
I told him because I thought he was responsible, but that's the second mistake I made. Yes? You were a witness?
Yeah,
Did you see the person who stole it?
basically, but I gotta tell you,
You know that someone stole it?
I gotta tell you,
What?
watching the people around that place was like being at a party where the joke's on the one person and everybody else was laughing their ass off behind your back.
So you're saying that there was more than one person in on it?
Well, I don't
Everyone
know
saw it, nobody-
on it, but they were all told during it.
What are you talking about?
Well, I just happened to be done taking pictures of Gary and the
So did you snap a picture of the guy?
Actually, I left the camera with somebody out front, but I walked around the
Oh, please. Please.
Why are you hanging up on him?
Hey, I don't even know what
He
he's
doesn't even have a
talking
picture
about.
of it.
So he saw the guys do it. He saw the car. He saw the face. He saw the
So you have his
plate
number, I assume?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got the license plate
So
number
where
and
is the
everything.
plate number then?
I got it in my pocket.
So then
When
call
are
the
you gonna
cops.
report it?
When are you going to report this thing?
Why'd you just hang up on that guy? so
Because
quick?
he's full of crap. I
About
asked him if he had the picture of him. He goes, my camera got stolen. You
No,
believe
he didn't say
him?
his camera got
Kim
stolen.
was
He
outside.
said he left it up front. Why are you so quick to hang up on him? I just don't know. He had a lot. He had a lot.
Why
more
are
to
you
say.
accusing me of
Not
this?
accusing
You
you of
stole my
anything.
puppet.
I'm not accusing you of anything.
I love that friggin' puppet. The puppet's great on the... Do me a favor, Gary. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Okay.
Goodbye.
I'll see you later.
Yeah. It's a big joke.
Not a big
It's a big
joke.
joke to everyone but me. He's sitting there accusing me. Get the guy on the phone then. Why am I hanging up on the guy? He gives me a big
I
smirk.
don't know what anybody's
A
talking
big
about.
toothy smirk.
I can't figure out what happened.
Because he thinks that I'm in on it.
Oh.
What's going on, John?
Relative to a guy who was at the appearance when...
Yeah. Hello? Hello?
Howard.
Yeah.
Man, it was horrible.
Did you see the guy who took it?
Well, I had just got there right when it happened. I walked in, and there was a big crowd for Gary, about 7 people. And I went in the back, and I saw Gary in the back, and I've never seen a whiter face in my life. It looked like a mime almost. Like a mime with a mouthful of green chiclets. But anyway, let me tell you, the sweat was dripping off him. He looked like I've never seen anybody look that sick.
Hey, if somebody has the Gary puppet, would you call in and give it back? I would appreciate it. No questions asked.
You could just see the dread. He didn't want Monday to come at all.
If anybody is listening to this program and has possession of the Gary puppet...
Yeah, it's all right to yank Gary around, but that's our puppet.
Yeah, we want our puppet back. If you could just call in and give us the puppet back, we'd appreciate it. We don't ask you for much. Because Toothy over there is giving me weird looks. Why'd you hang up on that guy? Why'd you hang up on that guy? Because I'm not going to sit and listen to some guy who tells me his camera's up front. He didn't see anything. He wants to be on the air. But Toothy is too stupid to see that. Did you see the guy who took it?
I told you, I got there right when it happened, so I didn't see anybody who was there. But Gary's reaction was just amazing. He was on the side of the building holding his hands, and he just was walking all around. You just felt bad for him for a second until I got in my car and started cracking up.
I know, it does seem kind of dumb. It's all over a puppet, but the puppet's really expensive, and the puppet's really very famous.
It sounds like he was watching O.J. in the van.
Yeah, I know.
He was looking up in the air. I guess he was looking for a beam so he could throw a rope.
I don't mind. You know what? I'm not mad at Gary for the puppet being taken. Although I am. I'm mad on one level. But, I mean, what? He's coming in here and giving me like a big stupid grin. Like I'm supposed to be happy about this.
He certainly wasn't grinning that day, I'll tell you that much. He was hurting.
I don't get you, man.
No, I'm not. I'm just...
You lose my possessions, and then I'm supposed to sit there and take it? The guy said he didn't even have a picture of him.
Yeah, but so what are you talking about?
So get the license plate and call the cops. What are you waiting for?
Yeah, but you didn't even ask the guy all the stuff that he did see.
Howard, you want to hear
I assumed
this guy didn't see anything. This guy wasn't even there. That other guy saw somebody bringing out the back that probably
put him back on.
That probably worked.
Put him back on.
All right.
Yeah.
You mean the people you were working for?
So you think someone...
I don't know. I shouldn't say. But
I like how you're accusing everyone of taking the puppet.
Well, listen, Howard, it's not inconceivable. Just think about it. Think about it.
There's someone who worked there.
No, it's not inconceivable that you guys would want to pull up. Just think about it.
I didn't do anything. I don't have anything to do with
We've tried to get Jackie a fake daughter. We pulled a practical joke on everybody on the show. It's not inconceivable that you guys... This would be the ultimate practical joke to pull on me.
I'll tell you something.
Why don't we have the Gary puppet here for the show today? Why don't we just come in
because it wouldn't be funny yet. It's not funny until you torment me for 2 or 3 days.
Excuse me, I wish I had been smart enough to steal the Gary puppet.
Because then we'd have it.
I was promoting this appearance for 2 weeks. I could almost hear the words coming out of Jackie's lips. I got a great idea. Let's steal the puppet. I'm just saying, it's not inconceivable.
Not the case. Did you have anything to do with this?
Who, me? No.
No, Jackie.
What am I going to...
John, come in here. But, I mean, it's not inconceivable.
I don't understand why you left the puppet there.
I haven't...
Because the people that
so many people there.
Because the people
I asked you to watch the puppet.
Because the people that were running the store said they'd watch it. I was gone for 2 seconds. What? Get that guy back.
When am I going to fire you?
He's always delegating. Somebody tells him to take care of the puppet.
I say to Gary, watch the friggin' puppet. So what does he do? He gets there.
And leaves it.
And he tells someone else to watch the puppet. Why leave it? The thing weighs 2 pounds.
It was behind a counter with people that worked at the store. Then they claimed they didn't see anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're claiming that because they don't want to be responsible.
Then the guy who took it...
But that's not his responsibility, the guy who
You
stored
were supposed to keep the puppet with you.
You're right.
So why don't you bring the puppet with you when you went to look at the guy's car? What was the big deal? Did he make a whole issue of it?
Yeah, well, yeah. He's like, you got to come out and see my car. It'll take 2 seconds. Come on. He just like sort of talking to me. Come on, we'll be 2 seconds. Come on. You know what I mean?
So just bring the puppet with you.
I know, but like I said, it was behind the counter. Somebody was watching. It was going to be a second. You know how it happened.
If we had given you 500 gold bars, you would have left them with strangers.
Right.
No, I wouldn't.
People you don't know.
Yeah, that's it. If I gave him magic beans, like in Jack and the Magic Beanstalk, Toothy over here. Listen, man, the puppet's replaceable, even though now we got to wait 3 or 4 weeks for a puppet to be made. Is that how long it takes?
Probably, yeah.
The puppet's replaceable. What my trust has been betrayed here. I've said to you, hold on. If you're going to take a puppet, hold on to it.
No, I admit that gosh, I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, I admit that what I did was stupid and wrong.
It is stupid.
And I'd like to apologize to Jackie's wife, Nancy.
Yeah. I hope your wife never leaves you with a baby.
Yeah. I'll just put it behind the counter here.
Here, would you watch this for me?
Howard, the place had no surveillance cameras either. Actually,
that's not true.
Actually, they did have them, but they weren't on.
They weren't on. The guy said they weren't on. Sort of seems odd.
Why wouldn't they be on?
Because they don't put them on during the day.
During an appearance, it's the best time to put it on. People lift stuff all the time. Was the guy's stereo cool? I mean, what was the that's what I want to know.
Was it a great stereo?
Yeah, it was a Sony mini disc player with a 10 CD changer instead of a
Oh, boy. It was worth my puppet
looking at it really makes a big difference.
What is your stuttering, John?
This guy claims he has the puppet.
Hey, I got to hang up on you, dude.
All right, bud.
Hello? Do you have the puppet?
I've got the puppet, and I'm holding it hostage. I want $1,000, and if I don't, I'm going to start sending you little body parts of this puppet. Piece by piece.
You don't have the puppet.
I've got the puppet.
Tell you what, if you have the puppet...
Yeah?
Make it talk.
Let me talk to the puppet.
The puppet is bound and gagged in a chair.
Let me talk to the puppet.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll send you a picture of the puppet with today's Asbury Park Press and the Philadelphia Inquirer with the same date on it.
All right, then that's
Hold on. Wait a second.
Wait a second.
He doesn't have the puppet.
I've got the puppet. A guy came out of the store
Why don't you
with
tell me?
Jersey plates, and I was there from Philadelphia. He said, look what I got, the Gary puppet. He flipped it to me, and I jumped into my car. So Gary's got a license plate.
Hold on a second. You were just sitting in the back of the parking lot, somebody threw you the puppet. You had no plan or anything.
No plan whatsoever.
Somebody just threw you the puppet, and you took off with it.
He just said,
You
hey.
think you need a plan to baffle you, Gary?
He said, look what I have.
All right, hold on a second. What was the Gary puppet wearing? Do you know what the Gary puppet was? All right, what was the Gary puppet wearing? What is it wearing? What is the Gary puppet wearing?
It changes outfits a lot.
Yeah.
It changes outfits a lot.
What is the Gary puppet wearing right now?
A pair of pants and a shirt on.
What's on the shirt?
What does the shirt say?
What's the shirt say?
What the hell is the shirt? The Howard Stern show.
You don't have the puppet.
I'm telling you.
Then why
are you going to take the chance of me having the puppet? Because I'm going to start sanding off an appendage of this puppet.
Hey, that's not necessary.
Send us a picture.
Don't harm him.
I tell you, he's bound and gagged right now.
Why don't you just look at the T-shirt and tell us what it is, and then I'll offer you a reward.
That's it. I got the puppet.
Exactly.
I want $1,000, and I'll meet you down at Rockefeller Center Plaza for the $1,000.
Why don't you fax a picture right now, the Gary puppet?
What's your fax number?
What's the fax number?
759 KFAX.
KFAX.
How am I going to take a picture of the puppet right now?
Why are you going to take the picture you were going to send us with the Asbury Park Press?
Yeah.
That's because I have to have the picture.
He doesn't have. You don't have it.
How about the guy on the phone who kind of sounds like he has it because he knows what Gary was?
Hello? Do you have the Gary puppet?
Sure. Don't listen to that clown. I got the puppet, Howard.
Now, how'd you get it?
Yeah.
How'd I get it?
Yeah.
You went outside. You left the puppet like a fool. You left it right there.
And how'd you get it?
I grabbed it and ran out the back door.
Like a fool.
Okay, now
that's what he is a fool.
What does the back door look like?
The back door. It even had a security thing across the back that set an alarm off. I went right out the back. It didn't even go off.
Uh-huh.
I ran out.
Is that right?
That's true.
Right.
What's the T-shirt? What does the T-shirt say?
Ta-ta Tusi. It says hi, boss.
Is that what it was
right?
there?
Yeah.
Oh, you got it?
You really have the Baba Booey puppet?
Absolutely.
Listen.
Now, why did you take
Hold
it?
it a second.
What?
I love that puppet more than anything.
What's it worth
What
to
do
you,
you
Howard?
want?
What do you want? Video half price? Why did you take the Gary puppet? You know it has family and people who...
Hey, don't you love it on the show? I mean, you can't do anything with it.
Let me speak to the Gary puppet.
I mean, people love that
If
puppet.
he's there with you, let me speak to him.
All right.
Hey, Gary, why'd you leave me like that?
That's him. Gary puppet, are you all right?
Wait a second. Hold on. You know what? I'll be back in a second. Somebody left a ransom note. Hold on. I got to get that for you so I can show it to you.
No, there's no ransom note. I didn't leave a ransom note. I did not leave a ransom note, Howard.
What is he saying? A ransom note was left at the place?
I don't know what Gary's saying at all. He just ran out of the room and said there's a ransom note.
Because why wouldn't he bring that to us
He went to go
at the
throw
beginning?
up. He went to throw up. What is it? So that idiot leaves the puppet laying in the back there, and you just took it and nobody even said anything.
Howard, the guy said to him, I was scoping the place. I heard the guy say to him, hey, why don't you go outside and give out some prizes to the people? He goes, oh, okay, no problem.
And just walks away from the puppet.
And you're not a professional thief or anything.
No, not at all. It was too easy. It was too easy.
He wasn't even planning on stealing it. It was just...
No, it was there because he says Gary was asked to go outside and hand out stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
You weren't asked to go out to the guy's car. He says...
Well, yeah, I was asked to go and hand out stuff and go out to the guy's
So
car.
this guy really has it. He knows everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you really have it, send me a shoe.
All right.
Or send me his hand. Send me his pinky.
Don't send him.
I can tell you what his pinky is made out of and everything. I can tell you everything about him.
Don't hurt him.
Well, what's he worth to you?
Ah, come on. You're not going to make us pay, are you?
You just did that to Goofy Gary.
And I do have your license plate number.
No, that wasn't my car.
How do you know?
What?
How do you know?
I don't know. Was it my car?
He wasn't driving his car.
I know who was driving. I wasn't driving my car.
You give us the Gary puppet, and...
We won't turn in your friend.
Yeah.
Nah, you can turn him in. That's all right.
But he'll turn you in. And, you know, the Gary puppet is worth $600, so that is a felony.
Oh, that's all right. I'm not worried about that.
Well, Gary will pay you for the puppet.
Oh, yeah?
I will.
Well, what do you
want?
I'll pay you the $600 it's worth.
Oh, come on. It's worth more than the value. It's worth more than that. What it cost to make.
What about a celebrity?
People love that puppet. You can't have been showing my friends. They're loving the puppet. They're ready to buy it off me.
Oh,
See,
man.
this guy keeps showing it around.
Yeah, everybody's touching the
No, I didn't try.
You know what? I can't believe the position I'm in that I now... One of my Gary puppet is being held for ransom.
Yeah.
What did you make at that appearance? What did they pay you there?
Oh, I'm not going to say on the air, but I'll be willing to turn that. We can talk about it off the air. I will be willing to turn that.
Did you make more than $2,000?
No.
Did you make 1,500?
Somewhere around that area.
Somewhere between 1,500 and 200.
Is that good for you, sir? Would you take
No,
that for the Gary puppet?
Gotta be worse, about at least $2,000 at least.
All right, Gary will give you $2,000.
I actually have people who are willing to pay me since it's now that they actually know that's the actual Gary puppet because they were a little skeptical.
Man.
They're actually willing to pay me that much money.
All I do want to say, Howard, is even though it'll take 2 or 3 weeks, there were a couple of modifications you wanted to make on that puppet for $2,000.
You can
I can have a better one made.
And how do you feel? I don't know how I feel about the original Gary puppet being out there.
I feel terrible about it being out there.
That is my puppet.
And he'll be doing shows.
And not only that, who knows what he'll be doing to the puppet?
Or what
do you mean?
We could be committing acts of sodomy or something on the puppet.
Or having other people. Oh,
I mean, the puppet could be used in satanic ritual.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think of that puppet. Fred works that damn... Looking into what?
On the Judith Regan show.
Yeah, right.
Profile.
Seriously, the way Fred works that puppet, I feel like he's a son.
Say it.
Just give it back.
Imagine what people
I
might
can't give it
do.
back. Can't give it. I went through a lot of trouble to get that puppet.
Where do you live now? I mean, what state are you in?
I'm in New Jersey.
Come on, drive it in here. Be a
Yeah,
hero.
I'm only 15 minutes from you.
You could have a Gary puppet here.
I can have it there in 15 minutes for the right price.
All right, we'll come up with the money. You come in with the puppet.
I knew I should have put LoJack in the puppet.
Gary,
Oh,
Gary,
make jokes.
You make jokes.
Gary, you made it so easy. What was? I couldn't understand it. I was sitting there thinking, how could I? I was actually thinking, maybe I should take this puppet.
You know what it is? Because when you're stupid, you trust everyone.
Yeah.
It's like Forrest Gump.
You want the puppet?
Maybe Tom will offer him something. From the station.
Forget Tom.
Well, Tom doesn't have to. This is my responsibility.
This is Gary's responsibility. Tom, I don't think Tom has to offer.
Tom doesn't have to offer anything.
Tom's very cheap.
I know.
I can
Tell us the bottom line.
No love for the puppet.
I can hear Tom running down the hall now.
Tell us what you want.
Oh, here he is.
Tom, you believe this?
Tom's not very cheap, but he's not going to negotiate with a ransom.
He'd
But
rather
it's
have
Gary
Gary
Puppet.
Puppet
If Gary
die.
Puppet's like a child to me.
You got the.
If you had a child that was kidnapped, wouldn't you negotiate?
But we have a lead. I don't know why we haven't called this into the police.
I don't know why we haven't.
Yeah, we could be tracing this call.
You committed a felony, sir. Just drive down here and all will be forgotten.
Exactly.
No questions asked. Just turn in the Gary Puppet.
Nah, I'd rather keep the puppet.
Okay, no problem, because we'll call a local precinct and we'll report the
There you
license
go.
plate and get this thing in gear right now.
The car was stolen. It doesn't matter.
Oh.
Oh,
No problem. Yeah, you stole a car to lift a puppet?
You weren't even lifting a
What are
puppet.
you, Dillinger?
All I know is, ladies and gentlemen, you are now witnessing why my producer is the stupidest producer in the country. I said to him, do not take that Gary Puppet anywhere. And he says, "Wolf, what are you worried about? I'll take the puppet.
I'll take care of it.
I will not loot it out of my sight." And you let my Gary Puppet out of sight.
I know.
And this puppet has spent. Where's it? Is it buried? The puppet?
What did you do with it all weekend?
Did it breathe?
I slept with it all weekend.
Oh,
That's disgusting.
Getting a kitty.
Gary Puppet's having a homosexual liaison with this guy, some hillbilly.
and it loves Fred. Stop that.
I don't like it leaving my office. I don't even like it leaving my office.
Well, as
And this is it.
It's never been
You'll never be to be
building.
trusted again.
I see a movie here, Silence of the Gary Puppet.
It's true, but it's not
Yeah,
funny.
he's in a pit.
Sir, I want the Gary Puppet. Bring it down. I'll pay.
What do you
No, you don't have to pay.
Just tell me how much it is.
I want Gary to
Give me a bottom. No, I'll pay. Well, how
I'll
much
pay
is
for
it?
it.
How much is it? I want my puppet back.
2,000 will do
All right,
it.
get it down here.
All right.
What did I
Well,
tell
how
you
soon
last
will you be
week?
here?
Well, I could be. I'm about 15 minutes.
Well,
I just got.
let me ask you
I'm in
something.
bed. I just got out of bed.
You want to make a drop-off point or something?
Yeah. Where do you?
Make a drop-off
Should we
point.
send Gary?
How am I going to get the money?
That's what I'm saying. I'll at the drop-off point. I'll leave the money. You leave the puppet.
All right.
Gary can't handle this.
Gary's too stupid to handle it.
Yeah, he'll lose the money and the puppet.
Exactly. Let Gary do it.
I'll send Gary with Ronnie. The exchange will happen.
You know what's good? It's like Jack and the Beanstalk. I'll come back without the puppet and without the 2,000.
That's what I'm saying. Gary will get ripped off twice.
Tom is unbelievable.
Right, so where do you want to do the chick?
You can't believe Gary's stupidity, right?
Well, I can't believe we lost the Gary Puppet.
That's a big star. Not only is he a television star, but he's a radio star.
How important that was to the show?
I heard there was a rumor.
Look at Tom looking at Gary.
He can't believe it.
That's priceless.
No, not at all.
I can't wait for his next negotiation. He's
Yeah.
going to remember this
What is
when
it, Ralph?
Gary's trying to get more money.
For 2,000, I'll make a new one.
No, but the point is, I want it back today. I got to wait 4 weeks.
No, I can
You want the Gary Puppet living with this guy?
We
Does anybody
need the
care about the Gary
original.
Puppet?
I don't care about the
And
puppet.
you want him running around with the original, and then he'll do something with it.
He will have it at card shows, and
Yeah.
he'll be making money.
But of course, if he keeps turning up, people will report him. I mean, the guy stole it. It's a
I want
felony.
the original back. I can't believe that can be duplicated. It's too great.
That's what I mean.
Well,
You guys,
you gotta
you know
have
what it's
the
like?
original.
You guys remember
want-
I had the 000s make that song for me?
Right.
HOWARD, and then they made a
Tried to
second.
improve it.
They tried to improve it.
But
I like the original.
Didn't you say you wanted a tongue on it and a couple other
Even if we
modifications?
get a new one, we need the original for the archives
to
as
show
well.
the evolution of Gary.
That's
I
right.
understand. Well, we've got video.
And then I got to wait a month for the damn puppet. You don't believe it.
I know. Tom's having a ball.
Where's the puppet right now?
I'm best screw up.
Is the puppet okay?
Yeah, it's in my bed.
Let
You
me
haven't
talk to him.
broken it in any way.
Let me talk to him.
The puppet's very fragile.
Let me talk to him for a minute.
Hey, Howard, what are you doing?
Gary Puppet, you okay?
Fine.
The guy's feeding you?
Yeah, really well.
He's feeding you all right?
You okay?
Yeah, great.
I am licking my lips like a madman.
Didn't I tell you last week how Gary delegates everything?
Yeah. Well, this is another example. I don't know what to do about this. What should I do? You're a management guy.
I think maybe we should go after this guy.
Yeah, but what about him?
What about us getting the puppet back?
I think the key is to get the puppet back first and then to deal with me later. Seriously, why get me now? We got to
No,
get
but
the
it
puppet
seems
back.
trivial. But if you entrusted Gary with something very important and then he didn't come through, what do you do to punish him?
It would depend on what it was.
You fired people for less, right?
Now, Howard, wait a second. We should remember that now I know it's your property.
I finally have a reason to fire him.
Wait a minute, what is Tom saying? You don't fire somebody for losing a
station property?
piece of
I would say it
equipment?
would depend on what they did.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
If you told the person,
value.
if you told the person to watch the puppet and keep it in his hands the entire
If you take
weekend.
it, you're responsible
Didn't I
for
say
it.
that to you?
Wait a second.
I heard it.
Yes, of course you did. I'll give you an example. Somebody once almost ruined the board, which is very expensive.
Yeah.
And Tom did not fire that person.
Who was that person?
I don't want to say because it's not fair.
He got fired the next week.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, but you're not here
Tom was
anymore.
very upset, so upset that we heard that he wanted to fire the person, but he
I was
didn't.
here until 3 o'clock.
What happened? They spilled something
They
on
spilled
it?
10K. It's like that running drink. You know,
Big deal.
it's like Gatorade.
That's good for it.
You should see the smoke coming out of the board.
But the guy didn't do it on purpose. I told you to keep
I didn't
your
do it
hand
on
on that puppet.
I didn't do it on
It's a
purpose.
form. You know what it is? I'm going to tell you what it is. It's psychological with you. You hate the Gary puppet.
I don't hate the Gary puppet.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
You hate him, and
Hey,
you
wait a
took him,
second.
and I
Hold
consider
on
an
a second.
accessory to a kidnapping.
Hold on a second. Howard, let me explain.
It's not like on a conscious level.
Wait, hold on.
That puppet irks you because it
No.
makes fun of you.
Can I say something?
It does.
Howard.
What do you think? So why does he leave the puppet? If it was his wife's engagement ring, he wouldn't have left it behind the counter.
Howard, listen to me.
Do you agree with that?
I agree with that.
Howard, listen to me.
The puppet was
Who had the puppet for a year? For 6 months? Who had it?
Who had the puppet?
Yes, who had it?
Kevin.
No, who had it for 6 months after Kevin?
I don't know. Who did?
I did.
Yeah, but then
Who
they
told
didn't
you
make fun of you.
Who told you the puppet existed? Who offered to bring it in? Of course I knew you guys were going to make fun of me with the puppet. One day Howard said, this is exactly how it went.
I don't think you realize how long it would last and how big a star.
Howard
you
said,
never
The
had
Gary
a
puppet
big
eclipsed
stand.
you in fame. The
Hold on.
Gary puppet is more popular and a better producer than you.
he's not getting
And
paid
you
for
can-
appearances. He can do whatever he wants. Listen, Howard said, I'd love
Why did
to
you
do
have to
a
bring him? Did
Howard
they hired you?
Howard
Did they-
said, I'd love to bring a puppet on the show. And I said, you know what, Howard? There's a puppet of me at home from the channel.
Yeah, and why didn't you
I'll
tell
bring
me?
it in.
And why didn't you tell me about the puppet 6 months ago?
'Cause I didn't know
Why
you'd
did
be
you wait?
interested in it.
Oh, I wouldn't be interested in my own puppet. My property that
Yeah,
you
what
are
were you doing
housing.
holding on to it?
What were you holding onto my puppet for?
I didn't know you
want to
were-
know that you have my puppet. I want to know that was my puppet. Why did
was
you
your
have it for
puppet?
6 months? Because
What
it
do
is
you mean, how
mine.
you know that?
I came up with the concept and had it made.
Just because it cut your face doesn't make it yours.
It's not your puppet. It was not your puppet.
It wasn't anybody's
I
puppet.
should have known
stop
6
it.
months
It's not
ago.
my puppet and it's not your puppet.
And now I'm negotiating with a kidnapper.
You know what? You're right. It's not our puppet. It's that guy's puppet on the phone.
And why wasn't I told about the Gary puppet being missing immediately? I would have called the police immediately.
Well, I wanted to wait till Monday. I had the
Who
flight
asked
number.
you? It's my
To let
property.
the trail get cold. That's the typical
Yeah.
Gary.
There was no
move.
trail to
I
get
want to
hot.
make sure the trail gets cold, and the Gary puppet could have been here right now, safe and sound.
How?
Or it could be
Because
an
the
hour.
cops could have tracked him down over the
You
weekend.
had a license number.
Yes, I did.
Oh, yes, I did.
You mishandled this entire
Well, let's
thing,
get
this
the-
entire episode.
Let's.
This is worse than your 911 call.
Hey, Gary, did they get a description of the car?
Yes, I did.
What kind of car was it?
I am not going to say to you.
It's a big call, Wolf.
Big.
I have the eyewitness. You know,
So why wouldn't you call me and tell me?
Because this is Gary.
And why 6 months ago didn't he tell me he had the
Yeah,
Gary
why would
puppet?
I call you?
Because it is my puppet. It is my puppet.
Why would I call you on Sunday to tell you about it? What could you have done?
If you told me you had a license, I would have said, give me the number, I'll call the police and have them track it down. Now the trail is cold.
Gary doesn't know what to do with the license
Could be in
number.
Iowa now.
Yeah, the puppet can be in another state.
Oh, no.
What would you do with the license number, fool?
Well, how could you get the puppet back over the weekend? The cops don't work on the
It's
weekend.
as bad as I thought
The
it would
cops
be.
go to the beach.
This is as bad as I thought it would be.
Oh, the cops open on Sunday, boss?
Wolf, wait a second. I should call the cops now?
Well, why don't we get this back?
It's a weekend.
Why don't we finish this negotiation and let's get it back?
Look what the position you put me in.
Why don't
Number
we-
one, you betrayed my trust. by
Howard,
telling me
why don't
you
we
had
get
the Gary
the puppet
puppet for
back
6
now,
months.
and then
I'm
we'll
right.
yell about it later?
You hate the Gary puppet.
I don't hate the Gary puppet. I love the Gary
You
puppet.
lost it and you didn't even call anybody.
I see made-for-TV movies.
I say you intentionally took the Gary puppet to
true.
your appearance hoping someone would steal
Not
it.
true.
Why else would you leave it?
Not true.
And you know that I'm too nice a guy to fire
In
you.
fact, I was thinking to myself in the middle of the appearance that this is the last time I'm ever going to bring the puppet out because it's too fragile to make appearances.
Oh, boy.
You know, I wouldn't mind if Gary had a special puppet made for appearances and out of his own money. But don't take my puppet that has become a bigger star than you, and certainly a bigger star than Fred himself, and finally gave Fred something to do on the show.
Maybe as big a
Now
star
Fred
as
has
me.
nothing to do.
I wouldn't say bigger. Maybe as big.
Now Fred has to sit around worthless.
Useless again.
Yeah. Freddie, you all right over there? I know you work at Gary Puppet. You're pretty close to it.
His hand is lovely.
Pretend he's here.
I can't even make jokes about it.
Are you serious?
He's hurt. I was surprised. He's been quiet.
I didn't even want the E-guys taking that thing because they were doing some stuff with it.
Right.
I told them to be careful.
Hey, he's got a slight crack on him.
Oh, man. What did you do?
You didn't crack him, did you?
It was already there. A little crack by the neck.
There was no crack.
No, it was a little hairline. I didn't do it. It was already there.
Were you beating the puppet?
Let's just get that puppet back already.
Howard, I was thinking, you got a large following. I could probably get a lot more for it than that, at 2,000.
Okay.
I could probably get about 5,000 for it. Now that I think
I'm not giving you 5,000.
I think I'm going to have to keep it then. I think I could get at least 5,000. I had people offer me at least 2,000. That's why I said that.
Well, I think we'll just call the cops now.
All right.
Yeah. Now that it's 3 days later. When did
Now
you
you're going to have to run
you
with
think
the
his car's
Gary
going
puppet.
somewhere?
I don't know.
He'll run away now.
So let him run away. We'll call the cops.
Yeah, the cops.
We'll put it on an APB.
Yeah, that's going to be great when you go to the cops. Cops don't have anything better to do than go chase a puppet.
What are you going to say? I lost my puppet.
Well, luckily we have police. Wait a second. We've been very nice to the police over the years, and they're fans of the show, and they understand the gravity of the situation.
Gary, you don't understand gravity.
I don't need to.
How are you going to explain it to the cops? I know the apple hit me in the head when I sat under the tree.
When I pick up my foot, it touches the ground again.
Tom, here's what I'm saying. Okay. I'm asking you as my manager, my general manager. When an employee takes something and maliciously loses it because I have given him
malicious is in dispute.
He held on to the puppet for 6 months.
In dispute.
Never told me about it.
Well, see, I would say if there was intent, then that would, but I don't think there was intent here.
Gary doesn't intend to do anything.
No, I don't think Gary intended to lose the puppet.
How could you not call the cops? How could you not call and tell me that my puppet's
called
gone?
Howard immediately.
I wanted to wait. I was afraid to call Howard.
Did you call anyone?
Did I call anyone?
No.
You didn't call the puppet police?
No, I didn't call the puppet police.
Oh,
Tom, you're funny.
I'm sorry.
Puppet police.
If anything happens to that Gary puppet, I want it back, sir.
Well, you willing to pay the 5,000?
Come on, be reasonable.
No. That's not reasonable.
That's the original puppet.
Come on, you're a fan of the show.
That's like the original Charlie McCarthy doll.
What's he going to do with it?
He's going to sell it to somebody
People
else?
love that puppet. You should see the reaction I get. They didn't believe me actually it was the real puppet. Now they're going to believe me, which gives it a lot more, makes it look legit now.
How about $2,000 and 10 autographed private parts?
Yeah.
No, I already got the book.
No, but they're autographed. They're worth like $500,000.
And I'll throw in the new paperback.
Yeah?
With 64 new pages. Autographed.
I don't know. I got to think about it.
That's worth way more than a puppet.
Maybe I'll have to call you back. I don't know.
You're shaking me down. This is like Jackie in a negotiation.
We're going to get the police in here.
You want plugs?
You want plugs? I'll give you a plug every day on the show for appearances. You know what those are worth? Thousands of dollars each plug.
I have to see every plug.
And Robin will sleep with you.
Please.
I'll do it for free then.
Robin, bail me out.
Please, I didn't lose any.
It'll be good for you. It'll be good for him.
Gary, do me a favor.
What's that?
Take this guy off the air and you'll try and arrange a drop-off point and negotiate a price. Pay what's reasonable.
And get the puppet back today.
You got a number?
What's that?
You have a number? What did you write down?
Nothing. I just wrote something down to remind me to do something.
Yeah, to negotiate for the puppet.
Does everyone believe that this guy actually has the puppet?
He sounds like it. He knew where, above the door. He knew what the puppet was wearing.
What's it got by its neck?
What's that?
What's it got by its neck? Right in front of the neck. What's it got?
I don't know what I don't know.
I'm against paying this guy anything personally.
I'll tell you everything about it. I even shook Gary's hand before I took it.
That was nice.
That's a crook.
He is. I say we don't pay. We kiss the Gary puppet about it. Hold on, okay?
Yep.
All right, I got to take a commercial break. I got to think this through.
All right.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
All right.
We're in the middle of in case you're just tuning in, we're in the middle of a slight problem, and I really do want to resolve this one way or the other. I talked it over. We are not going to pay any ransom for the Gary puppet.
No. You're not?
Well, I don't know. The guy hung up, first of all. We can't get him back. That's number one. And there's a cop down here who says he's going to help us catch the thief.
Yeah, I saw a police officer outside.
We're going to try to trace a plate.
Good. You gave it to him and everything?
I'm going to give it to him right now. He just glanced at it briefly.
Yeah, well, don't say it over the air in case it's not.
And the witness guy's on the phone.
What witness?
The guy that saw everything.
Oh. Well, why don't we get the cop in here, too?
Okay.
While the witness... We've only got a witness and a cop.
Yeah, you can take a report. It's a New York City police officer, though.
New York City police officer. Hey, officer, if you're a New York City officer, that means...
The crime was committed in Jersey.
Crime was committed in Jersey. Do we have to contact the Jersey police?
It's got to be reported in Jersey, right?
It's got to be reported in Jersey.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. You believe how stupid he is? In today's day and age, Gary is as stupid as a wall. This is what my point is. Forget about Officer, the fact that he's got to be a little street smart.
Forrest Gump laughed at Gary.
No, I understand that, but what you should have done is told this guy to come in and arrange a drop-off point.
And then we could have nailed him.
Well, we could have persuaded him to give it back to Gary.
He'll call back. Jay, we'll make our own puppet.
All right. Well,
Unfortunately, a bit of history for the show has been lost. But...
All right. A little bit of show history is lost, that's all.
Well, we don't have...
All right, Gary, you'll talk to the officer after the show.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, officer.
all right.
Gary, you idiot. The officer probably wants to say you're an idiot, but that's he can't
He's
say
too
it.
nice.
He's too nice a guy.
I know it's not much, but do you think seeing a couple of women nude would help a little bit?
I want you to repeat after me. That would help.
Okay.
Maybe you'll learn your lesson. I am more irresponsible than myself. I pulled a bigger boner than any porno star. I will never, ever, ever again take Wolfie's stuff and give it away again.
I will never, ever, ever again take Wolfie's stuff and give it away again. I didn't give it away.
I will stop taking overdoses. Of stupid pills and dumb capsules. I hope you learn.
Of stupid pills and dumb capsules.
Unbelievable.
I can't believe he did that. I mean, the very thing he was told not to do.
He lost my puppet.
Yeah. He was told to make sure that puppet came back in one piece.
When I heard his sweet little voice over the phone, it made me crazy.
He talked pretty well with a gag in his mouth.
He did. All right. Wouldn't it be the first time you got fooled? Wouldn't it be the last?
No.
You and Peter Jennings.
Right.
There are morons like this on both coasts.
Oh, well. No Gary puppet.
Gary had to take the Gary puppet on an appearance. I don't know.
Can I take the puppet on an appearance with me?
And you want to know something? My first reaction was no, and I said no. You know what it is? Everyone's going to think I'm a dick if I say no.
Right.
Everyone's going to be like, hey, Howard's a real dick. He's overprotective of the Gary puppet. I knew it. This is what I knew. When you asked me whether or not to bring the Gary puppet, I said to myself, something's telling me to say no, but I know, like, Jackie Ryder would have been like, Howard's not a good guy, boy. What do you like, yeah? And, and I know Jackie would have been in there.
He'd been lobbying.
Well, thanks to you, Jackie, now I don't have the Gary puppet. Yeah, because Jackie gets like a little... That's fair. Jackie. And I know, and Fred goes, hey, Howard, I'll tell you something. I am sick of it. I am no longer a nice guy on this show. If I feel the Gary puppet should be here, it's going to stay here. I
bust a vocal cord.
I wanted the Gary puppet here. All I said was keep it here. But I knew it. Gary would have been like, hey, you know, man, he's such a dick. He doesn't have to go out and make appearances for money. I do.
I have nothing to say. I'm not going to argue with you.
He'd have been in there grousing all the interns.
Not true.
Oh, yes, you would have. Because everyone here is a little buddy up against me. I don't have a producer. I need a producer who is on my side. Who isn't going around behind my back talking about what a dick I am.
I never do that.
I don't know.
I never do that.
What would you do if you were me? Hello?
Yeah, this gag was old 20 minutes ago.
What gag?
Let him off.
Get out of here. I wish it was a gag. What did your wife tell you to do? Did you tell her?
Yeah, she told me to just come in and be honest and take my lumps.
She's used to you.
All right. I've got it out of my system. You're forgiven. Forget about it.
Okay, you don't want to talk to the other guy.
I'll talk to him. Yeah.
The private investigator here now.
Yeah, good.
Are you private investigators here?
Yeah.
We're going to hire him.
He said he was across the street.
Hey, you know what? I don't even care. You know what the best way to handle this is not to care.
Yeah, because that's how the guy gets you.
I'm going to make a new puppet.
You care.
I got to remember the puppet's not real. It's not a person.
It's not a real person.
It's not a person.
Human life is worth more than a puppet.
You know what, though? I bet you'll get this new puppet made. You'll never use it.
Of course he'll use it.
You're right.
There'll be something different about it, and he won't use it.
It'll be a sore spot, man.
Keep the private investigator around. I'm going to hire him to find Gary's brain. All right? Just in case. In case I need him just to do that. My poor puppet. My beautiful, beautiful Gary puppet. Who I loved more than Gary. If I was on a boat with the Gary puppet and Gary, I would push Gary overboard.
But you know what
true.
it was? The puppet had sweeter breath.
Yeah. Puppet never gave me any love.
I'm not. My life isn't even worth $600 to you.
No, not compared to that puppet. That puppet was huge. You know that puppet was going to host Talk Soup?
I heard.
I had a gig arranged for him. You talk about your stupid appearance.
Yeah, and what do you do now? Well, you get the replacement, but it's not going to be the real.
No, but the puppet with the Gary, the puppet is the Talk Soup gig is before 4 weeks.
Well,
so
the Talk Soup's going to be on forever.
No, but Greg Kinnear is only on vacation for a week.
We'll go on vacation again.
Oh, great.
See,
I'll wait
this
2
is
years.
Gary's way of thinking about life. Oh, there's another time.
There'll be another opportunity.
Reverend, what is there to do?
What is there to do?
Yes, what would you like me to do?
Think before you lose. That's what she'd like you to do. All right, I'll talk to this guy on the phone in a minute. Let me take a short break. and then we're gonna be done with this. And this way, no.
Just never bring it up again.
Right. And then I'll bring the naked girls in for you.
Now, if you say you don't want to see naked girls, I'll know you're really upset.
You know you want to.
I want to see the naked girl. I'm not that upset. I wish I had a real producer so he could advise me what to do.
Well, you wouldn't have a
What do you
problem
need to
if
know?
you had a real producer.
What to do in this situation.
Well, as your producer, I think that you should.
But you're not a real producer. I need a real producer.
You're a problem. Is what
Yeah, you're my problem. You're a nuisance. I'm going to hire Rip Torn to be the producer of this show.
Amazing.
Artie.
Oh, that one.
Where were you appearing?
You want the name?
Yeah.
A place called Film and Music in Little Falls, New Jersey.
And they do car stereos?
Everything. They sell home systems, car stereos, laserdiscs, the whole deal.
And we have the witness on the phone.
Yeah, we also have the manager of the place on the phone.
Yeah, the manager of the place. If you want to.
I'll put both guys on.
The manager of the place is good because he could just tell you how upset I was and how I cursed at everyone in the store.
Hello?
Hello? Howard?
Is this the witness or the manager?
This is the owner.
Oh, the owner.
Yeah.
This is Nick?
This is me.
So you saw everything that happened?
Well,
you were the guy who brought Gary out to the car when the Gary puppet was stolen?
That's correct.
Why did you need him to see your car so bad?
Well, we brought him outside so we could demonstrate the mini disc, which is why I was there.
And why did you suggest that he leave the puppet there, or he just did it on his own?
No, the puppet was sitting behind the counter in the middle of the store.
I had said there was a woman working in the store with 3 sisters, and I said, would you please keep an eye on the puppet? She said yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, you really shouldn't have left it. You shouldn't have left it up to them. And what did they say?
I asked them. We did have a lot of people in the store, and we were trying to sell audio and video equipment, and somebody took their eyes off the puppet, not realizing.
Was Gary freaking out at least?
Excuse me?
Was Gary freaking out at least?
You could say that. He was very visually upset. It did bring it down a little bit, but.
But that was like a funeral after that. The store was full, and then everyone just stood around looking at me. The world's biggest idiot.
Well, then you did a good appearance.
At least there's something to talk about.
I'm telling you, it happened at about, the appearance was from 3 to 5. It happened at about 4:30, 4:35. Yeah. I went back into the store, and everybody was standing around looking at me, and then some guy goes, man, it's like a funeral in here.
Because you were so upset about the puppet?
Yeah. And everyone,
but you still had to stay there and...
Oh, yeah. I had to do the final drawing for Eagles tickets. Stay till 5 o'clock.
Yeah, he was not too happy towards the end.
Were people asking for the Gary puppet?
Yeah,
well, one guy came in. Well, certainly, if you get a hold of listeners to put out the call, if you want for the E-show, I know for a fact that there's some very good videotape of me flipping out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Because a guy right after the whole thing happened, a guy came in who had a camera, and he goes, "Hey, where's the puppet?"
You lost it.
I want to see that tape. If that guy's out there, I want to see that tape.
Howard.
I need to see that. I want to know at least you suffered.
I did.
Yeah.
During the appearance, I heard people in the audience going, "Man, we should steal a puppet. We should steal a puppet," which should have alerted me to the fact that there is some value to this puppet.
And we should not let it out of the building.
Yeah.
The puppet's really popular.
Yeah. It was pretty popular.
It's like Charlie McCarthy getting lifted.
Mm-hmm. Or Howdy Doody.
Howdy Doody. Did you call the police?
I offered to call the police. I asked Gary, let's call the police. If there's a value to this, let's call the police.
Why didn't you call the police?
I was so upset, and I started yelling, and I said, this is ridiculous. The cops don't care about a puppet. They have more important things to do.
Yeah, but it's a theft.
Right, and you could still report it. It wasn't going to be any different. I mean, the cops...
Just like shoplifting.
Right.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you report it? I don't get you.
You can report it at any time. There was nothing they could have done.
You found the person right away.
How?
Because you could have had it here, and I wouldn't have even known about it.
Yeah.
I don't understand you. Because maybe now he has a puppet. It's all broken up or something.
I did not think that calling the police was going to do anything. It sounded stupid at the time.
Why don't you just stop it? I did not think.
Right. What is it, John?
I gotta be honest. Gary thinks that you're acting and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, he still thinks that.
Think what you want. I don't have the puppet. Think what you want, my friend.
Okay.
He made a point of telling me, too, if this is part of a big gag, he was not going to be very amused with me.
I did say that.
Well, are you willing to swear that you are not part of any gag?
Well, you know what, Howard, here's the weird part. Now, here's a guy that's got this big audio store, right?
Right.
In his stock room are, video, VCRs and laser displays stocked to the ceiling.
Yeah.
The back door of his place is open, and anybody can walk in and out. A guy with all that electronic equipment doesn't think to keep that door locked.
Oh, so you're blaming him for the Gary?
No, I'm just saying.
I don't know how he runs his store.
He did mention that at the store, Howard. He was asking me to visually give him an inspection of the place and how this could possibly have been done.
So he's accusing you of doing it?
No, I'm not accusing him at all.
He wasn't accusing me, but he was probably trying to make me feel a little.
No, I was just trying to figure out if this were a practical joke. In other words, how does the guy leave his back door open with all electronic equipment and a store full of people, a busy day? How does that happen?
None of that was stolen.
Exactly.
Except for the Gary puppet.
Yeah, I'm surprised because there are things of more value than $600, and I was pretty shocked myself that somebody would really want to take that puppet.
All right. Well, thanks for calling.
All right.
Was Gary crying?
He was very upset.
I was not crying. I was yelling. I said the F word a lot.
He was down. He was really down.
Well, at least he was upset, because he sure doesn't seem upset to me now. Thank you.
Well, you can see the tape of it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Why didn't you get that tape? He didn't even think to do that.
Hey, why don't you get the videotape?
Because I was distraught. Shut up.
Please.
Why didn't you get the videotape? You have the tape, sir?
He doesn't.
You have the tape?
Well, there was people from Sony there that videotaped also. So.
Can I have that tape by this afternoon?
We could probably get it to you, yes.
Thank you. What's the name of your store?
Film and Music. I'm on Route 46, and other than this event, there is good security in the store. So.
All right, thanks.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, I'm going to put this to rest now. The Gary puppet is officially gone.
So you don't want to talk to the witness anymore?
Hold a second. Someone's here.
Knock, knock.
Hey, look, it's the Gary puppet.
Hold on, Gary.
Hold on.
Yeah, I saw you writing that down.
718.
I said it's a joke.
718. I know you set me up.
No, you didn't know anything. The Gary puppet, is there something you want to say?
Yeah, take the $1,500 and buy yourself a friggin' brain.
There he is, Gary puppet. You think I'd be stupid enough to let that puppet out of my sight with you?
Yeah. We knew you'd lose it.
Can you just give me a rough estimate of the scope of how far this goes?
We were plotting the stealing of the Gary puppet for 3 weeks.
Right.
Was it over 3 weeks? 3 weeks, I would say.
About 3 weeks.
About 3 weeks.
I mean,
We plotted it, but we thought it was going to be that weekend, the appearance. We didn't realize it was so far away.
Okay, let me put a few.
This is what happened. Gary came in about 3 weeks ago and asked me if he could bring the Gary puppet. and I did say to him,
How he was calling me all weekend freaking out.
But
did you know?
I stole it.
John stole it.
You didn't even know John stole it.
And he kept calling John, which is funny. And John and I were on the phone all weekend.
Laughing our heads off.
Yeah.
You didn't tape any of
John
that?
and I had the funniest phone call all weekend.
You didn't tape
You should
any
have
of
taped
that
Gary
stuff?
freaking out.
I left 2 messages on the machine. One of them was John. You got to.
One of them I still have.
It's really important.
Well, anyway, listen to this. So John calls me at night, and he goes, "We got the Gary puppet." I go, "You know what you got to do? You got to tell your friend just to drop off a shoe." I'm like, leave it in the garbage.
Right, for real.
Here, cut
Well,
off
it's
a
funny.
finger.
The shoe kept falling off.
Yeah, so anyway, what happened was like 3 weeks ago, Gary came to me and said he wants to take the Gary puppet too. And I really did say to him, this was before we started plotting it, I just said, don't lose the stupid
That's
puppet.
right. You can take it, but you have to take
Because we love
care
the
of it.
damn thing. I said, I don't care if you take it as long as you're responsible for it. So, of course, everyone starts going after that
He did a
lecture.
real good job of keeping an eye on me, too.
John, is this your license plate? Was it your car?
It was my assistant's car.
Is that the plate? Oh,
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't even think you had the right
I actually, I'll admit now that I called it into a friend of mine who's a cop, and it came back that it was the wrong plate.
You know what? I had a sneaking suspicion that Gary didn't have a license plate.
No, I had a plate, and I did call it in, but I wasn't going to tell anybody. Okay, who was the guy on the phone?
That's John's friend.
The guy on the phone is the actual guy who took it. He's a friend of my assistant's, and his name is Paul Lauer.
Right.
And he was great. He wanted to just grab it and run out of the store, but he didn't care about getting beat up or anything. He just liked to do it.
Psycho friend. All right, let me tell you what happened.
So of course, you will say that you now have all that on videotape, right? Of course, you have somebody to videotape.
No. Do we actually? That guy does.
You didn't think of that? I thought for sure. When these two guys came in after it got
It wasn't really well thought out. In fact, most of us thought we wouldn't even be able to pull it
It
off.
appeared to be well thought out.
We thought you really wanted the puppet.
Yeah, I was shocked that you pulled it off because I figured Gary was smart enough to put 2 and 2 together, but I didn't realize.
Yeah,
Oh, no, he's not.
Thank you, Gary Puppet.
He lost you anyway.
How are you feeling, Gary Puppet?
August Fool, Gary. I would have been better off with a kidnapper in a John Smelly apartment, though.
Anyway,
I still smelled it.
So anyway, here's the point. So afterwards, Gary leaves the room, and we decide, okay, we're going to steal the stupid Gary puppet from the appearance. But we can't figure out how we're going to do it. I thought the guys were going to first steal it from the back office so Gary couldn't find it, but that wouldn't make sense. It had to be under Gary's care.
It had to be out there in the public.
And I said, there's no way that we're going to be able to get the puppet away from him. So we got the owner in cahoots.
Yeah.
And I said, all he's got to do is pull Gary away for 2 seconds.
I cannot believe I cannot believe that the owner of that store and everybody that worked in that store could watch me be as upset as I was, which is pretty upset, and leave me that way and not do anything about it.
The owner told me that at one point he was going to break down because Gary was almost crying. But
no, I said to the guy, I'll tell you when I got to the guy what some of the things that tipped me off a little bit.
Right.
Of course, you never know.
Right.
That's the last bit. One of the things that tipped me off was I was so upset.
Now that's entertainment, watching Gary get upset.
I turned around.
Hey, if anyone, do they have a videotape of it?
I don't know. Somebody shot some videotape.
Please, if you have a videotape, I need it for tonight's TV show.
I genuinely thought you sent those guys in when I was trying to piece this together.
Yeah.
I genuinely thought you sent those guys in to tape me being upset so you'd have it for the E! Show.
No, we weren't that smart about it.
But at one point, I was in there with the 2 owners, and I just said to them, I said, well, thanks a lot. I go, now the whole world will know that I'm the biggest a-hole in the world. I go, everybody already thinks I'm a moron. Now you guys can help me prove it.
Right.
And then they go, they don't even know me. And they go, no, Gary, everybody knows you're a smart guy. I said, wait, these guys are being too nice.
So anyway, Gary got really upset and everything. But what we did is we contacted John's friends and stuff. Who I guess, they knew what to do. And they got the owner took Gary away for a second.
into his car.
Yeah.
Turned the sound up as loud as it would go.
Yeah, and the guy stole the puppet and drove off.
I was in the car, too, but I had my head down.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
So then that night, John calls me to tell me that, I said, look, you got the puppet now. You pulled it off. I said, gee, this is the cruelest thing we've ever done. Maybe we should call Gary and just tell him.
Let him off the hook?
John and I decided, no way. What were the odds of us pulling this
I
thing
gotta say,
yeah, you couldn't ruin this for me on Monday.
You guys are jerks and it's cruel, but once
Did you think the puppet had really been stolen?
No, I was in there when you guys started plotting.
All right, I didn't know.
But even I have to
at this point, I didn't even know who was in on it.
Even I have to say that once you stole the puppet, you'd have been crazy to tell me.
Right. So anyway.
But Gary, I'll be honest with you, Howard. When I spoke to Gary last night, because Gary called me a couple of times, and then I called you and said, should I call him back? Because I normally would. So I called him back. You were really upset, and you were totally buying it. You're like, John, what am I going to do?
I have no weekends left as it is. And
right. I said, John, this is really cool. I mean, it's the guy's weekend, and he's bumming the whole weekend.
Yeah.
He can't even call me.
Right. I mean, did you ever?
Were you waiting for a call from me?
Yeah, well, John and I discussed. John called and he says, what do I do if Gary calls me? I said, look, here's the thing. If he calls you, ignore the phone call and call me and tell me that he called you. So Gary put in 2 calls to John.
Yeah.
One Saturday, I called him Saturday night at 6 o'clock since I got home.
I said, John, make sure you tell Gary not to bother me because I'll blow my stack. Yeah, I didn't want any calls from Gary. And then John...
Well, you could have just not picked up the phone.
Yeah, I wouldn't have picked up.
That's what you said.
Yeah, I wouldn't have picked up.
That's what you said. You said if he calls, you wouldn't pick up.
Yeah, right. John, on the other hand, I said, it's going to look weird if you don't call him back because he would always call back Gary. Call him back and just say, oh, my God. Just freak out and say, oh, man.
Yeah.
I kept saying, that's probably a scam, guy,
Now, what time was the puppet here this morning? Was it here like first thing this morning?
That's why I came in late today.
Because one of my things was I was going to search the office looking for the puppet.
You wouldn't have found the puppet. It was out in the car out on Madison Avenue.
Yeah, the puppet was hanging out in the car. Puppet had a better weekend than you did.
Did Kathy know about this?
No.
Probably not.
Because I called her and grilled her, too.
I think you would, and I was going to call Kathy, but I said, you know what, they don't know, so they'll act.
Well, I thought Kathy would have to know because I thought, none of you guys would get around to calling the owner of the store and setting up the whole thing.
No, John took care of the whole thing.
John was right in there immediately to take over.
John took a lot of pleasure in stealing the Gary puppet.
Howard said to me, and he never said this ever to me in my life, he goes, John, this is the meanest thing you have ever done in your life. And I really felt that bad.
Here's the key. Key question of the whole event.
Yeah.
Whose idea was it?
I don't know. It might have been. I think it was Martling. It might have been Martling.
I could hear the words.
I'll
tell you what. It was so funny when he was in here before and he said, this is a scam. I can hear the words coming out of Jackie's mouth. I got an idea. It was like he quoted it.
Yeah, I know. Jackie goes, I remember it exactly. Jackie stands up and he goes, wait a minute. And he slams the door shut.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. He goes,
you over Gary and that?
Jackie wants to break it. No, Gary, that was, we wanted to make another, first it was more involved. We were going to get another one and smash it up.
Right, yeah. And then John immediately stepped in and said, I'll take care of the whole thing. I can get it stolen. I can do the whole thing.
I'll call my hoodlum friends and studio puppet.
Right.
So you know what I did, Howard? I had my hoodlum friend go in, and then he brought the owner out, and the owner came up to my car, and I was hiding underneath the car, and the owner comes up, and he goes, oh, okay, I'll do it. And the owner was like...
The owner was in on something.
Everybody loves the goof on Gary.
Well, let's thank the owner. Yeah, everyone loves goofing on Gary.
Give him a plug because I promised him.
All right, what is the name of the place?
Film and Music. It's on Route 46 in Little Falls, New Jersey.
Yeah, all right.
And the girl from Sony was like, we gotta tell him he's so depressed he screwed up the whole appearance. And then I had my other friend girl just go in to see how things were working out at the end of the appearance.
Yeah.
And she went up to him and she got a picture sign, and then a guy behind her online goes, hey, guy, where's the puppet? I want to take a picture. It's been stolen.
Now, if we had really been smart, we would have gone even further and somehow stolen it from John. John was in the story.
Believe me, I had that in mind. I thought I was...
That's like the Sting. That's going way too far. I don't have the energy for that.
Again, I suspected that you guys had done this, but I was really under the impression that you were going to keep me. Mary, I said to Mary said, how long do you think they will go with this? And I said, Wednesday the earliest.
You know what? Jackie just came up with the ultimate, though.
Right.
Jackie said, we should have planned this and not told you.
Yeah.
So that's
where we made the mistake.
Yeah, that would have been good.
And you really would have gone.
I would have gone ape.
Because my biggest regret was not taping our phone conversations. Because me and Howard were like two little kids laughing.
I was laughing my ass off Saturday night. I was half asleep. I couldn't keep my eyes open Saturday. And he calls me and I go, what does he want? He goes, I just stole the Gary puppet. I said, tell your friend to call him as a ransom and tell him he has the puppet there and I would demand to speak to him.
The guy on the phone was really good.
Yeah, hello. So that's when the guy called, he had the puppet voice ready. Hi, this is Gary Puppet. I'm all right.
You know what the best moment of the whole thing is? Is when that guy was on the phone and you said, what's on the shirt, and he read what was on the T-shirt. His face.
Gary's face sunk.
That was great.
Man, that was good. Let me see the shirt he's wearing.
Tatatoothie.
Tatatoothie. Hi, Wolf.
Gary was so upset he tried calling me, and I don't even have a phone.
Hey, Gary Puppet, it's good to have you back.
Well, you know what they say. Gary's mother is so strong.
Now, wait,
Howard, she had to be to raise a dumbbell like him.
Now, wait a second. What were you guys going to do? One of the ideas I had was, how long were you going to wait me out?
Just today.
In other words, now I was going to say...
I said all week.
No, but I was going to say, but again, I made the mistake of telling John this because who knew he was stabbing me in the back?
Yeah, right.
One of my plans was to come in and wait for you to call for the Gary puppet. Then I was going to say, I left him at home today. And I thought that would rattle you guys a little bit.
But,
what would you have done?
I just would have stood up for him. I would have been pissed off at you for leaving him at home.
But what really got Gary is because you did it excellent because in the morning, like, you didn't bring it up. So about 6:45, Gary comes to me and goes, John, I thought it was a goof, but now Howard hasn't mentioned it. I think I'm really freaking out.
I thought what you would do would be by like 6:30 and say, hey, where's the Gary puppet? And you didn't.
No, of course not, because you would expect that.
Right.
Oh, no, Howard, I woke up at 2:30 in the morning, and it was like, your little kid, and you wait until...
Yeah, right, you couldn't wait.
I couldn't sleep again.
You were so excited about the Gary puppet.
I went to sleep at 11 o'clock on Saturday night because you know when your mind smokes so bad that you're exhausted?
Yeah.
I was really just so depressed and exhausted. I went to bed at 11, woke up at 6 in the morning.
Yeah. All nervous about the Gary puppet.
All nervous about it the whole day. My parents came over. I told them about it. John called. My father wanted to know what John had to say because I thought John might have some clues. I got into bed last night, and then
I hate to tell you this, but your wife was in on it.
She was not.
Yep.
No way.
The whole time.
Why would you put her in?
Because John was afraid that she was going to convince you that not. No, she wasn't in it.
No way.
Howard, the best was when I spoke to Gary last night. After the whole conversation, I was trying to console him. I go, Gary, did I help you at all? He goes, not really, man.
No. Well, you know what the cruelest thing was? John calls me from his girlfriend's house, and he's drunk out of his mind.
Yeah.
And
he's having a great weekend.
And then he goes like this. He goes, I've now lost the Gary puppet, right?
Right.
This is major thing, you know?
Right.
So I go to this conversation with John.
You should have taped these conversations.
And John had absolutely nothing.
I was at my girlfriend's father's house.
John had nothing to add, nothing to say, or anything. And then he goes, man, I had one of the worst appearances I ever had this weekend. I was like, I don't care about your problem. This is my problem. Who cares what happened to you?
So typical.
You lost the Gary puppet.
I can't I'm in trouble.
Well, I hope this teaches you a lesson not to bring the Gary puppet.
I tell you, I'm never bringing it out again.
There you go.
Gary puppet. What did you mean it's too fragile?
It's people want to touch it and hold it, and I wouldn't let him. It's just too fragile to bring around.
Right. Just let him smack you in the head.
That was Gary's one and only appearance.
Yeah, let the listeners just touch you. Never mind the Gary.
All the people that came to see Gary were all mad at him that the puppet wasn't there. Where's the puppet?
You want to meet the puppet?
No, it was really like 50 or 60 people standing around looking at me, so sad, like, oh my God.
Let me ask this guy. He's a witness.
He's the guy that saw everything.
Hello?
Hey, John.
Howard.
Yeah, Howard.
Hey, you saw everything?
Yeah, I'm telling you. It was funny because the listeners were as upset as Gary. And I'm standing there thinking, how are they so stupid? I could see it. I walked around back to 4 guys in the car. I can't believe I couldn't tell John.
I had my head down there.
Yeah, and then the guy just ran out, handed the puppet and said, here, have fun with it.
No, actually you're wrong, though. The owner did not bring it out.
I know. I didn't say the owner.
It was the guy. It was my friend who actually brought it out. It was legitimate robbery.
Yeah, but the back door was left open for him.
No. I mean, he opened it. It wasn't wide open or anything.
No, but I mean the back door. The owner left the back door for the guy to get out.
No, but wouldn't you assume that the guy was in the store? He was there for the appearance. He just ran out the puppet and runs out the back.
You can't get out the back door. It's got a deadbolt on it.
No,
and then of course then the other owner is running around and there's these surveillance cameras all over the place. But of course they're not turned on during the day.
Yeah.
But
only at night.
But the owner played it great because Gary's like, how could you just my puppet's gone, and the owner's like, Gary, we get $1,000 of equipment stolen.
You're right.
I care about stupid puppet.
My puppet's gone. My puppet's gone.
Now, let me ask
my puppet.
Now one more.
My puppet is gone. Like me. My puppet is gone.
Now, one last question.
Yeah.
What were you going to do? They kept offering to call the police. Did you have fake police set up, or were you going to actually let me call the police?
I didn't care because it was my.
And you had the wrong license plate.
Yeah, I didn't think you had the right plate, and it was Melissa's car. She wouldn't have cared, and you would have traced it to Dominic Bellman. You wouldn't know who it was.
I would have called and threatened him. I would have said, I had a ton of ideas.
Yeah.
Had I got an address and a phone number. I mean, if I would, when you trace a car, you don't get a phone number. You only get the address.
Right.
Believe me.
You would have
Sunday, my whole day would have been driving around New Jersey looking for this car.
I got to find the puppet.
But you know what? He wouldn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't tell him, so he wouldn't have known.
Boy, this was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a good scam.
The stealing of the Gary puppet.
Yeah.
It's been going on for 3 weeks. Excellent, John. Jackie, John, excellent.
You know what the funniest thing is hearing Gary call the police,
Yeah.
I lost the puppet with big lips like mine.
Well, no, I really did I got so upset.
Yeah.
And everyone in the store was going, do you want to call the police? Do you want to call the police? And I kept going, no, but this is ridiculous. The puppet's gone. It's in the car. It's gone.
Right.
I said, you can't
Imagine a picture of the puppet in the post office.
Right.
And I said, what are we going to do? And I said, what are we going to do? Put out an all puppets bulletin?
APB.
All puppets bulletin.
All right. Anyway, there it is. The caper that has unfolded in front of you. The stealing of the Gary puppet.
Everybody's back.
The Gary puppet is back.
You know what? I was 80% sure that you guys did it, but the other 20% ruined my life.
Right. Very good. And we'll be back right after these words. I don't know. I was freaking out because I knew Gary would be bumming all weekend. And I know I hate to be bummed out on the weekend. But I had, I couldn't break the news to him.
Oh, see, I thought you had a cruel streak in you. You're soft.
I didn't call him, did I? So,
I enjoy it when people are bummed out.
So I said to John, I said, gee, I hope he doesn't do anything drastic. John goes,
like what?
I said, maybe he'll be like hanging from a rope and telling Mary to kick the chair out from underneath him.
I walked in the door on Saturday night, and I just said, I hate those guys so much.
Right.
And Mary goes, what happened? I said, I'm pretty sure that they're behind this. I can't believe they could do this to me. And I was really bummed out. I spent the whole weekend packing. You couldn't even leave the house and go do something fun to take your mind off it.
But this is what we do.
I know.
Yeah.
No, I don't expect any less from you.
Right.
I really don't. We're professional a-holes. That's what we do for a living.
Right.
You know,
we love you.
We spend all our time doing it.
We spend all our time thinking about you.
In 6 months, it'll be John, and in 6 months more, it'll be Jackie.
All I know is my father was over the house Sunday. I said, Dad, you got to hear what we did. This is the greatest thing in the world. My father goes, what'd you do now? I said, listen to this. We stole the Gary puppet. Gary took the Gary puppet to it, and we stole it. And he's freaking out. He goes, that's the greatest thing I've ever heard. My son.
I'm glad I could amuse Ben.
Yeah. Oh, I expect my father to go, oh, man, that's a terrible... He goes, that is the greatest. That's the greatest practical joke ever.
That's genius.
The Gary puppet. When I was a little kid and used to do stuff like that, my old man wanted to belt me. So now that I get paid for it, he's like into it.
I'm telling you, you could do a whole second show on TV just counting the times I licked my lips while I was in here. I know.
We could count it.
I didn't even try to stop doing it.
You know what I'll do right now? For the TV show, I'll just speed up the tape, and we'll count how many times your tongue licks your lips right now. And we'll have like a little timer just belting out the bells every time you do it.
Ding, ding.
That's it. 50,000 watts of fifth grade fun.